So the theme that we have chosen for this year is transforming India into a global manufacturing hub. We have been writing about them on a regular basis, both chemical and petrochemical industries. And one thing which is common is the kind of capex that the companies are investing, both on the brownfield side as well as on the greenfield side. And and all the people sitting here, except Professor B.N. Rajshekharan Pillai, who is investing more on the R&D part, I see all of them investing huge amount of money in terms of capex planning, or setting up new factories, or setting up expansion facilities, and which is a very good sign, despite what we can say, the global trends not looking in the same way. So to begin with, I thought that should be the point which I should think of. And from Reliance Group, you already know they are making investments which we never thought that they would be making. The numbers are mind-boggling in each of the segments that you talk about, the new energy, the battery, apart from their own petrochemical part. So it's a huge investment, and that's the reason we are also seeing a packed hall today. Thank you all for coming all the way from different parts of the country and also from Bombay. We were a little frightened because of rains. There was a lot of news which was coming from Bombay, but by the God's grace, everything is okay. So we start with a good sign. So I begin my presentation. So this is if you see the global chemical scenario, I thought of giving you a glimpse of that. Between $5.4 trillion to $5.7 trillion. And we are at around 220, 240 is what we are talking about. And if you see, the share in the GDP for the US is 25%, we are at just 7%. There are varying numbers. Somebody is saying 2.9, somebody is saying 7. So I have taken the more optimistic part to give a very good picture in the morning. So if you see 18% deficit is there if we compare US and India. And if you see the chemicals in international export is around 30%. China has approximately 40% share in chemical business. And we are planning to looking at India aims to achieve $1 trillion by 2040. And if you see the standing committee report, which was undertaken during Arun Baroka's time, the chemical secretary, that standing committee report talked about $2 trillion chemical economy by 2047. So what is the underlying theme? The underlying theme is focus should be on increasing the contribution to India's GDP through chemical, which is chemical plus petrochemical. Now, if you see where do we stand in terms of global manufacturing? India's contribution in global manufacturing, this is, if you see the source, it says World Population Review, which has nothing to do with the manufacturing part, but they are looking more from a talent perspective as such. So that's the reason I have taken this data. China is 31.63%, and the total contribution is 4.9 trillion. US is 15.87%, US dollar 2.5 trillion. Japan, 6.52%, US dollar 1 trillion. Germany, 4.78%, US dollar 751 billion. India, 2.87%, US dollar 450 billion. So what you see if you compare these top 5 countries, what comes out is that at 3% we are at 450 billion. So even a percentage increase that we do see, we will definitely achieve at the numbers that we are talking about, whether it is US dollar 1 trillion or whether it is US dollar 2 trillion. So I don't see in this comparative chart that why it cannot happen. Now I look at the economy part of it. India aims to reach 5 trillion by FY27. This is the source is Ernst & Young, EY India. 10 trillion by FY34, 20 trillion by FY43, and 30 trillion by FY48. So if we are looking at, one of the session is also on 2 trillion. So if we are from FY48, if we are looking at 30 trillion, we are only looking at 2 trillion, which is 1/15th, which is definitely we are going to achieve. So there is a big opportunity for India, and we need to leverage it. These are the numbers I thought of trying to project in front of you. There are many senior stalwarts. I'm just a beginner in this industry. So I'm trying to club all of them figure which I got from different sources. So there is no source out there. They say Indian construction market US dollar 1.4 trillion by 2025. If you look from a pesticide, fungicide, insecticide, then Indian agriculture market from 373 billion by 2025, we are looking at US dollar 474 billion by 2029. Automobile, if you see the star attraction is the automobile sector, and Vikram sir is focusing on that in a very big way through the EV route, to the battery part. Indian automobile market, if you look at from 300 billion by 2026 to US dollar 1 trillion by 2035. Textile and apparel market, 165 billion by 2022. This is an outdated report, but if you see, it talks about 350 billion by 2030. Indian pharma market, 65 billion and doubling in another 6 years, 130 billion. So what's the underlying thing that we are getting is a lot of opportunities in business of chemistry, not only in India, but also outside India. So one leads to leverage it by transforming India into a global manufacturing hub. So what I thought of 7 mantras for transforming India into a global manufacturing hub. Think big. Everybody is thinking big, whether it is on the petrochemical side also or on the chemical side. And the capex plans on the petrochemical side are huge. Chemical also we are seeing large numbers, which is giving us the hope that definitely things will move in the right direction. Focus on cutting edge R&D. Recently, we have seen a lot of CSIR R&D labs being set up by mid-level companies and even larger companies in the chemical sector. One thing that needs to be focused is if the CSIR labs, if the, what we can say, the institute, the education institutes, and the industry, because the budgets are small, so if all of them can club together and shed their egos and say, now we have to work together, we can deliver the results. Third is sustainability at the core. So we are looking at sustainable innovation, and that's happening globally, not only in India. So if we are able to catch up with this, and because of this, there would be a lot of advanced materials which would be coming into picture. There are companies who have set up facilities for advanced materials. They are looking to change the product as they move forward, or they are rejigging their existing portfolio to see that whether they meet the sustainability requirements. The fourth is the 360-degree digital transformation. If you want to achieve better, definitely 360-degree digital transformation will give you both cost optimization as well as efficiency at the same time and increasing your profitability also. There are 2 ways of manufacturing, contract manufacturing and CDMO. And I come from the IT world, so if BPO can succeed, why not CMO and CDMO? And that's the beauty of it is that nowadays there's a joint R&D which is happening, joint setup of factories, and then joint marketing. So all these things gives us a hope that when multinational companies and Indian companies join hands, they are able to do better, and the best approach that we have seen or the success that we have seen is through the NASSCOM or the BPO, the KPO. We see a lot of first letters changing, but the PO remains the same across. So now if we are looking at 1 trillion, 2 trillion global manufacturing hub, so how will that be possible? We need talent. So that's the reason we have Professor Pillai, who is taking the lead, both in terms of industry collaboration, as well as also focusing on student who can take care of so-called, it's not considered to be very attractive. This industry is not considered to be attractive. We all have to see that how we can make this industry attractive. And once we make that attractive, talent management will be an easy task for all the HRD managers in this industry. And the last, I thought if you're looking at exports, then there should not be any compromise on quality. So if these 7 things, this is just I thought of just giving my part of the story. There can be many more which you all can add, but I thought of just giving it to you in front. These are the galaxy of speakers that we have, around, I believe, 93 odd speakers that we have in the next 2 days. And just getting you through the first session, which is on Global Manufacturing Hub, then on specialty chemicals, digitalization and automation, industry and academia, future of petrochemicals, construction chemicals. This is a new sector that we have added, or the new panel discussion that we have taken. Achieving $2 trillion from the standing committee report, which is there in the evening session. We have got 10 speakers there. Advances in petrochemical refining. Then what we can say, the bright star, which is the battery, semicon, and bio-based chemicals, where we are still in the initial stages, but things are moving very fast in that direction from Indian companies also. Hydrogen, which is again one of the bright stars that we are. Distribution strategies. NextGen leaders. Chemical waste management, recycling, and circular economy. And then about the investment part of it, how to get, if we are looking at 2 trillion, what is the investment that needed, both from an Indian perspective as well as multinational perspective, and from the banker's perspective. Just a glimpse of what we do. We have this HSC Connect, which is health, safety, and environment, logistics and supply chain through Chem Connect, Agrochem and Petrochem Summit. Just a stats on what we are. Our newsletter reaches to 49,000 people on a daily basis, Monday to Saturday. If you are not subscribing, please subscribe to our newsletter. Page views 148,760, users 80,000, LinkedIn followers 71,348.